Today, I want to talk about creativity. Not as a hobby, not as something reserved for artists or performers, but as a necessary tool of resistance. Creativity is self-expression. It is how people make sense of the world and communicate who they are. But it's also one of the most powerful tools and threats to fascism and authoritarian control. That is why systems built on domination always try to suppress it. Fascist systems rely on predictability. They need people to behave in expected ways, think in narrow categories, and accept that the future has already been decided for them. Creativity disrupts that. It introduces uncertainty. It exposes contradiction. It imagines alternatives. Creativity makes power vulnerable. When people can imagine a different world, they start to question why they are being forced to live in this one. This is why authoritarian systems censor art. They criminalize protests. They commodify culture. And they reduce creativity to entertainment. They want expression without impact, style without substance, noise without meaning. But history tells a different story. People have always resisted creatively. Songs carried messages when speech was dangerous. Quills, symbols, coded language moved people to safety. Street art exposed injustices when newspapers refused to print the truth. Humor undermined fear. Storytelling preserved memories when history was being erased. Creativity allows people to resist without asking permission. And this is important to understand because creativity is not rare. If you are here, you have it. You may not call yourself an artist, you may not paint, write, or perform, but creativity shows up in problem solving, teaching, organizing, explaining, connecting, imagining. You have a talent that can support your community. Maybe you know how to explain complex ideas in simple ways. Maybe you know how to make people laugh when things feel heavy. Maybe you know how to teach a skill that others need. Maybe you know how to tell a story that makes people feel less alone. Maybe you know how to spot patterns, build systems, or connect people. These are all acts of creativity. And when they are used intentionally, they become acts of resistance. Sharing knowledge is resistance. Even if it's just a short video, a post, a conversation, a message passed quietly between people. Clever communication is resistance. Finding ways to bypass censorship, disrupt dominant narratives, or expose harm without being shut down is resistance. Even choosing how you communicate can disrupt the status quo. Using humor to puncture fear, using visuals to make injustice undeniable, using stories to humanize people who have been reduced to statistics. Using creativity to keep attention where power wants silence. These are not extras, these are essential. Creativity keeps movements alive when fear tries to shut them down. It keeps people engaged when exhaustion sets in. It reminds communities that they are more than what the system reduces them to. And again, this doesn't require perfection or polish. It requires honesty and tension. Stop underestimating what you have to offer. Identify one way you already create, one way you already communicate, and one way you already support others. Use it deliberately. Share knowledge, tell a story, teach something useful. Make something that tells the truth. Communicate in ways that refuse to be flattened or silenced. You don't need permission. You don't need an audience of millions. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to use what you have in service of something larger than yourself. Because creativity is not just expression, it's how people resist being erased. And when enough people create together, systems built on control start to crack.